Hello, everybody. I wanted to take a quick minute today and introduce you to my new book called The Brink, which is coming out very soon on July 28th. So, at the time of recording, that is less than a week away. I could not be more excited. Those of you who have subscribed to my author newsletter, which, by the way, you can do in the description, you know that this has been coming for quite some time, a couple of years. This is an idea that's been building in my head for over a decade now. It started as an abstract concept and eventually morphed into a short story, and then into a novella, and then into a novel, which is what you're going to get next week. And here it is. This is the book pretty much in its final form, except it does have this nasty not for resale banner that Amazon slaps on there. This is just the proof copy, but otherwise it is pretty much in its final form and looking beautiful. The cover art here depicts a particular statue from the story that sort of becomes the symbolic embodiment of the central theme, but to go into that anymore would risk some spoilers, so I'll kind of just stop it there. The basic synopsis has been up on my website for quite some time, actually, and I've talked a little bit about it here and there, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper today and give sort of an introduction as to what to expect from this project, as it does differ a little bit from the previous books that I've written. Many of you are probably familiar with my first trilogy, The Eyes of Fate, which is, of course, a fantasy adventure story. The genre of that series is high fantasy, or epic fantasy, which is usually defined by these things right here. High page count, lots of characters, usually a quest, and most importantly, an alternative world to our own. While The Brink has a subtle fantasy backdrop, it is a little bit of a genre shift. Now don't worry, there's plenty here to love for fantasy readers, and the plot has its fair share of twists and turns, but the book falls pretty firmly in the camp of literary fiction, or the smaller subgenre even of literary fantasy. So what does that mean? Well, literary fiction emphasizes style, character, and theme over plot. It takes deeper looks at people and society and makes you think and ask questions. It also allows the story's meaning and interpretation to vary pretty widely from person to person.
Whoa, this is heavy.
So I'm really excited to see how different people will react to it, especially to there's this key twist that sort of flips the story on its head at a certain point. So let me set up the plot for you. The Brink is told from the perspective of a man named Coriander, who throughout the book is recounting the time that he spent with this other man named Orion, who is this sort of a larger-than-life character. Coriander first meets Orion at the height of a political crisis in his town. These masked oppressors are harassing them and even killing people, and things are getting pretty bad. So Orion shows up on the scene and offers to help. He's smart, strong, capable, and quickly becomes a beacon of hope for these people and is able to help, navigate them through this problem. Well, during this process, Orion comes into possession of a book that only he can read, which contains basically a blueprint to creating a perfect society free of war and greed and suffering. So Orion makes a proposition. He will lead them away from their town into these open, uninhabited lands, which are locally known to be cursed, and there he will guide them in building this perfect society. So from there, the story follows this undertaking, and we get all sorts of insights into human nature and the role of a leader. And there's really a lot of things that a reader can pull out of this. But what I'm most excited about, though, is that pivotal twist I mentioned earlier, which opens the story up for a lot of interpretation. So I'm excited to hear what different takes people have on that. And I've already heard a few wild ones from some of the advanced copy readers that I have. So look forward to that. And that's it. A little introduction as to what to expect from The Brink. Again, I know many of you discovered me through the Eyes of Fate trilogy, and if that sort of high fantasy, epic fantasy scene is only that's your only scene, that's fantastic. And I promise you there is more coming on that front very soon. But if you want to try something a little bit different in the meantime, as far as tone and pacing goes, give this book a try. You might find that you enjoy it. Now, since this book is both a social commentary and a character study, I've been thinking of it like this. Lord of the Flies and the Great Gatsby got together and had a fantasy baby. Think about that.